welcome to Small Town Big Business, a podcast about doing business in small town America. I'm Jennifer Olson, and I'm the Director of Business Development for the City of Marion.
And I'm your co-host, Russell Williams. I'm Director of EThOs, and we are a small business incubator, co-working spaces, training and development here in downtown Marion, Illinois. In fact, you find us at the Citadel building. We're a historic building here on Tower Square Plaza. We want to thank our Small Town Big Business sponsors for making this possible, and that includes Arcadia Wealth Group, Black Diamond RV and Harley Davidson, Fowler Heating and Cooling, the Swinford Media Group, Watermark Auto Group Foundation, and of course our producers at Union Street Arts, and thank you, Luke O'Neill.
Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the episodes. Just go to your favorite platform, look for Small Town Big Business, and hit subscribe so that you can follow along with us.
Awesome. And Jennifer, you found our guest today, so would you want to introduce her?
Yes, so I would like to introduce Ashley Anderson, and she is with Warehouse Antique Mall. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, very good. And I wanted to have her because, one, she's full of great energy, and she's made some amazing improvements since she has taken ownership. And also, she teaches me a little thing or two every time I go, like put Marion, Illinois, so that our visitors and guests end up in the right city, because along the way I've learned that, like Marion, Iowa, for example, their newspaper is called the Marion Star, and their library is the Marion Carnegie Library. So confusion abounds when you have a Marion in almost all 50 states. So I appreciate the pro tip and hack from Miss Ashley.
Awesome.
So I've been more conscious about Illinois.
Nice to meet you, Ashley.
Nice to meet you.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. So you were just saying this first time that we've met, first time you've done a podcast.
Yes.
Although when you were 6 years old, you did something on camera.
Yeah, I was in commercials. I did model and acting, and I was for the Illinois Center Mall. I did quite a few commercials and fashion shows. So after that, did a few plays, but no more.
There you go. Well, that's a lot more training than we had when we started the podcast. So glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, experiences, up to the point of you starting a new business.
Okay. I moved to Marion when I was 6. My mom wanted me to go to a big school, so Marion was her choice. I went to Marion High School, graduated, loved it, went to school to be early childhood education and special education. So that's what I started out with. And I got married and had children and decided to stay home. And I quickly learned that I loved being there for my daughter, but I liked the structure of having a job and having a purpose to myself. So I started selling on eBay. I love to, find things and resell. And then I decided to have a booth, an antique booth, because my mom had done this her whole life. She had an antique store before I was born in the 80s. So it was kind of in my blood. She laughs because I hated old things. I hated going to thrift stores. I hated going to antique stores. I would sit in the car. My mom did flea markets. I would sit under the table and sleep because I did not want to be there. Yeah. And then when I got married, it all changed. I wanted to have something different, that not everybody could go to a big store and buy. I wanted to be different. So I got a booth, loved it. I could still be home with my daughter, but still have a outlet for my energy. And then I got approached to take over the business. And I come to my mom because my mom was my right-hand man. Like, couldn't do any of this without her or my dad. No way. And she said, no, don't do it. No, been there, done that. It's a lot of work. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. And I kept thinking, but what if? What if I did do it? Yeah. And what if it did get better? What if it was really something good? So I conned her into letting me, trying it. Yeah. And she said, okay. And here we are. And it blew up, and I'm in it full force now.
And how long ago was that? Especially going back to the eBay days.
That was, I got married in 2013, so probably 2014, 2015, right when my daughter was born. Yeah. And so Yeah, it escalated fast.
And then you opened up the business in which year?
I took over in 2019 was my official, January 2019 was my first official
Yeah, okay.
go at it.
So tell us about the evolution since you've been at the helm and what you've layered in and to have success here in a smaller town.
I didn't really think that it would grow like it did. I ran the numbers that were kind of already existing there to see if that was possible, if it was, if I could really do this or not. And all of a sudden it just took off. They didn't have a very big social media presence. They had a Facebook, but they did a little. I started helping them before I took over. And something about it just, we had like 3,000 followers, and now we're up to almost 11,000 in 4 years. So it just blew up fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And so give us a little bit more details about the business itself and how it's evolved in what you've sold, what you sell. And
Yeah, Warehouse Antique Mall is in the Reinhardt and Smith. It used to be a grocery store. It was built in 1907. So it's a big 2-story brick building with lots of history. And it even has the elevator. I think it's original to the building. It's a freight elevator, so that's how we get stuff, the freight, the furniture and things like that upstairs.
it still works.
It still works. We use it every single day.
I'd love to see it. That's awesome.
Oh, it's really cool. Kind of scares me sometimes because it's so old. Nobody can ride it. Just put your furniture on there and push it up. But it's awesome. It's such a neat building with such neat history. We have a wall of pictures that has kind of the evolution of the building because it's the first picture, my favorite picture, has a horse and buggy out to it, and you can see and still see that it's my building. But that was there, and then it became a plumbing supply.
Okay.
And then it became an antique store. It's been an antique store for 15 years. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have 2 stories full of stuff. It can range from a dollar sticker to a big piece of furniture. I sell everything in between. We have new boutique clothing. We have unique glassware, just handmade things. I have people from all over Southern Illinois, even Indiana, that have a booth spot in my business. So it's a bunch of small businesses in one.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It's so funny because my gut when I walk in is that she's selling history, but really she's almost a retail incubator.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, really giving people the opportunity, and the history, some of it is short because it's newer products, and some of it is long because it's older products.
Yes. I would say that I took over in January of 2019, and then in March is when we all had to shut down because of COVID.
Right.
So that was a big,
scary,
crap. Yeah. Did I do the right thing here? Because that was 2.5 months of, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But when I reopened, the support from the community was just unbelievable. And it really hasn't stopped since then. I didn't think I could keep up after that.
Yeah.
But I think that taught people that you couldn't go somewhere and get a piece of furniture and it be to your house. Or, go get something and it can be immediate.
Right.
They learned that you could have a couch on a back order for a year.
Right.
And at my store, what is there you can purchase and you can take home.
Yeah, that is so awesome. And so talk more about that support in small towns, either before COVID, after COVID, but what does it mean to you?
Oh my gosh. I have some of the best customers, and I never thought that I would get attached to people, but I have some that come in every day. I have some that come in weekly. I have some that live out of state that I see once a month or, every 6 months.
And how do they find you?
Facebook.
Okay.
And but one of my favorite stories here lately, this woman came into my store and she said, we were at Thanksgiving dinner and they were talking about your store and I had no idea where it was. And she said, and here I am, and I cannot believe I've never been here before. And so word of mouth is a big one, But they've watched my children grow. My daughter was 3 when I took over, and then I had my son in 2020. And they're just awesome. They always ask about my kids and how they are. Or they'll say, you're doing such a good job. And that is so big as a business owner for a customer to say you're doing a good job. Yeah. And I love them. They're so nice.
So one of the things that has impressed me about the network of antique stores here in Marion is they are amazing at referring to each other.
Oh, yes.
And I'll let Ashley talk about it, but she's brought some really great events to her space. And when I go, I tend to get pulled into going to all of them because her team and the folk at the other stops are saying, have you been here? Have you been there? Thanks for coming. Do you want to talk about events or about your network here in town?
Yeah. Visit SI was gracious enough to make us a pamphlet for Williamson County, and it has all the antique stores in Williamson County with a map, with a little description. They even asked, questions about how did you get started or your favorite thing you've ever sold. It's just a really nice booklet because the more stops we have in our town, the more likely someone is going to come and stay. That's big about antique stores is when I'm going somewhere, I want to see, is there 3 that I can hit before I get back on the interstate, or is there just one that might be okay? So it's awesome to say that, you can go 2 blocks over, go to this one, and then it's just nice to have a big network of people. And even the other boutique shops, not per se just antiques, they're excited to know that we have clothing or lavish. And then the local restaurants, they always say, we want to eat somewhere local. Where would you go? And it's awesome I can give them 5 that are not very far at all from my store. So it's awesome.
And you mentioned Visit SI. I think that's a great resource.
Oh,
and so
yes.
For our listeners, that's our Williamson County Tourism Bureau.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Yeah.
They're so sweet. They bring me booklets whenever I need them. If I have anything that I think, needs to be put out there, they put it out there so we can share back and forth events. That's the thing that I have started.
That's awesome.
We used to only have one open house a year, and I decided to have another one. And they have grown tremendously, where we have to have a full staff to man it, and I go a little overboard with making sure that everything looks perfect and new, and I want to make sure it's a different experience on that day. And then we usually have a food truck. We usually have Drizzle Mini Donuts.
Yeah, we love them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome.
The last one I was at, and she had a photo cut out and all of the things that make for social media gold, which I think is so smart. But there was a line to get into her place, and there was a line for the mini donuts.
Right.
And I thought, it's just the berries when you see somebody that has a full parking lot plus street parking, and everybody is just anxious for them to open. Yeah. That tells me there's something special happening inside.
That's awesome. And as you say, you draw people downtown, and that helps the other shop owners here in the downtown area too.
Yes,
and
that's important.
And each, I think, has a niche, and that. What would you say is your niche?
Well, I feel like when you think of an antique store, sometimes you think of, oh my gosh, a bunch of old, dusty glass, or, not exciting. I want to make it exciting. And I like to have funky music playing. We range from playing NSYNC, the 90s from when my era, but then we also have things from the 50s and the 60s. We have just music for everyone that they're always dancing or singing in happiness. And then we just have an array of just a mixture of stuff. It can be anything. Lately, I've had a big following of younger people, which was not really, I don't feel was a thing. Especially even when I first started, there just wasn't. But now we have the college kids from SIU come over, the high school kids. Mrs. Hudgens brought her class for me to speak to about her entrepreneur class. That was awesome. And they were excited to be there. They were excited to look around. Some even bought things. And it's just awesome to get the younger crowd.
So at the risk of over-complimenting you.
Oh, gosh. You're so sweet.
I think one of my favorite things at your store, because when you say dusty or overwhelming or clutter, I love, if you go to her store on the street side, so directionally challenged people, that's east, street side. She has several little mini, I say living rooms or minuets or displays similar to what you would see in an old time furniture store, with really shows you how to lay things out in your house. And so, you know, when she gets bored with this full-time work, I have another business plan for Ashley.
Okay,
which is,
I'm willing to listen.
I would love her to go into people's homes and have them lay out all their stuff and have her, I mean, like staging homes, decorating homes. I just feel like she has such a good vision for how to put things together.
Thank you.
I go in those front rooms first before I go look through all the other booths to see, okay, well, that's how you use a bar cart, or that's how you use a wicker chair.
Did you know that was a strength?
No, but I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm a very visual person. I'd rather you show me how to do something than if you could tell me and it goes one ear out the other. Yeah. But I'm a very visual person. Yeah. And I think I have wonderful vendors. I have 60 different vendors.
Okay.
So each of them have their own niche too. So the one of them you're speaking of, she's amazing. She's done this so long, and she sets it up, and you can think, I could buy all of this and go directly into my living room and it would be perfect. Okay. And I think that is a new thing too, because it used to, you just put your stuff on a shelf and there it is, ta-da. But now they want to see that it looks like a magazine, and this is how it would look in my house, or that thing, more a visual. I
learned this from some Southern hospitality folks that I know, and they say, curate your home, not decorate your home. And that's what I feel when I go to her place.
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I like that. I'm going to use that.
Your 60 vendors, are they local? Are they regional? Or
they're all local. I have a few from Indiana. They drive over more the Evansville area, but some from Marion, some from Harrisburg, Mulkeytown, everywhere. Yeah. And they all come together in my building. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Now, you are like many people that we've interviewed, no business background necessarily.
No.
Did not get a master's degree in entrepreneurship or business from our local university, but you were in teaching, right?
Yeah.
And so what's been your favorite part about being a business owner? And then talk about what has been challenging for you to be a business owner.
My favorite is watching it grow. I set goals. I set monthly goals. I set weekly goals, and I set yearly goals.
That's good.
And I love seeing them come to life. And I'm big about it makes me want to make them come to life. And I just love reaching people, and I love that they found us, and that they love my store, and they call it their happy place. And I never would have dreamed that would happen, that my store would be somewhere people come to be happy or feel joy, and that makes my heart happy completely.
Well, and that's culture, and you both have talked about how you've built the culture.
Yes,
that's awesome.
I love it. It makes me happy knowing that it makes me feel like I am making a difference. Not just selling you a shirt or selling you a piece of furniture. Yeah. Some say, I'm here on my lunch hour. I'm just here to look, but this is my happy place, and this makes me happy. Go on ahead. That's fine. Go right ahead.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what has been the challenges?
Managing your time.
Okay.
And knowing that you can't always make it perfect. There's always something you can improve on, and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I have multiple, my husband, my mom, my dad, everybody daily usually has to say, it's okay. It's okay. Calm down. You've done a great job. You're good. Go ahead. Good.
And they're still part of the business, mom and dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
My mom said, I'm not owning it. She said, if you want to go ahead, go on ahead, but I'm not doing it. But I'm an only child.
Okay.
And they were married 21 years before they had me. Okay. So I'm even more of a only child. But my dad was a carpenter. So if he can't fix it, if he can't build it, then we're all up a creek.
Right.
And then my mom is just she can do it all.
That's awesome.
And she will do it all.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So outside of your family, do you have any other core supporters, mentors, people that like just really make a difference in you and your business?
Yeah, my vendors, I have quite a few that they could have jumped ship and thought, oh my gosh, I was 26 when I took over the business, an antique business. There were a lot of people who said, oh my, she shouldn't be doing that. It's not going to be good. It's going to go downhill fast. And I have quite a few vendors that have been with me and been supportive, and, thank you. Thank you goes a long way. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for working until midnight, 2 a.m. the night before open house. Thank you. We see it. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a very good community around me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then do you follow some business people? Do you listen to podcasts or read books, or are there people in the city of Marion that you would go to ask for advice?
That's my 2023 goal, is to start reading more. And I love to get into podcasts. I've been listening to you guys in the mornings while I get ready, just to...
Thank you very much.
It's nice to hear other business owners who have, same issues as you. You're not alone, that kind of thing. I really did this kind of on my own. I was kind of back there, and then my mom had the antique store, so she had a basis of what I needed to do. But if I wouldn't have had her, it would have been a whole different ball game.
Awesome. And do you employ others too?
I have some vendors that work for me.
Okay.
And so I do get a little bit of a, I don't get very many days off or very much, but I do get some, thankfully, to them. They help me out if I need it.
Somebody's at the shop this morning.
Yes, they are.
Okay. We always like to ask about advice to your younger self. So I'll say that, but also, do you have a sense of what flipped the switch for you? If you were really anti this business growing up, and now, I see so much potential that you bring with new energy and new ideas.
It really, I guess, my switch flipped whenever I did start looking for things for when me and my husband got married, for furniture. Okay. It was, well, I don't want that. Everybody's house looks like that. And then it's better made furniture when you buy it. Older things were just made better. And it escalated from there. My mom always says, my house is weird. I have weird things. If I like it, it goes in my house. It makes me happy. Stuff makes me happy. I am not a minimalist. I am not at all. Every square inch of my house is covered in something, and it just makes me happy now. And I'm so thankful I found my thing, because it has brought so much joy and so much. I'm a very independent type person. I like to do things on my own, and I don't really like depending on someone. And that's what I learned when I started staying home. I just wanted to do something. I needed a routine. I needed to do it. And this has really done that for me.
That's good. We have a lot of passion.
I've grown in that. I've grown a lot in the last 4 or 5 years.
Do you have a purpose? Do you have something that gets you out of bed in the morning?
Well, my daughter, I'm big on girl power. I want her to know that she can do whatever she wants to do. If she wants to be a doctor, cool. You want to stay home? Stay home with your kids. That's fine. If you want to have your own store. Right now she's big on she's going to have her own store. And she's already picked out buildings here in town that she really wants, and she's 7. So she's one of my biggest cheerleaders. Yeah. I won an award, or I got voted best antique store last year. And when I told her, she just went on. She said, my mom is the coolest. Yeah. She's awesome. Yeah. I can't believe you did that, Mom. I'm so proud of you. And that's my thing. Yeah. She's my number one goal.
Yeah, she's got a good mom and a good business owner to show her the way.
Oh, thank you.
We hope that our folks that are running businesses will inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. You're literally raising the next generation of
watch
entrepreneurs.
out for her, because she's coming. No, she's a force to be reckoned with.
Sure. EThOs being a small business incubator and getting into the field of starting new businesses and helping businesses scale up. Is there anything particular, finance, budget, planning? Is there anything particular that you would want to see in a place like EThOs that's helping businesses get started?
I think I would have used you guys a lot, 4 years ago. I think the finance is a big thing for especially small businesses because you don't think of all the little things.
Yeah.
You think this is, I know I got to pay electric, I know I have to pay water, but you don't think of the little things.
Right.
And a budget is a big part of it. And
Yeah. Do you do that yourself, or do you have somebody?
I do.
Okay.
I do it myself.
Yeah,
I do
awesome.
all of it. Now I get a lot of help from Google.
Yeah.
Google helps me a lot,
There you
but
go.
yeah.
So awesome. And what's next for your business? If I was going to come to your business maybe 5 to 10 years from now, what do you hope it would be?
I hope to add on. I would love to add on to my business, or even, I don't know, I would love to have like a sister store or, somewhere close by that I could do that also. I never thought that I would be a business person or start businesses, but it really has like sparked a fire in me to keep trying and keep going. And I love it. I love it.
Super.
Are there any like resources or tools or platform, anything that you use in your business that you like, I couldn't live without that, or I'm so glad I took the time to implement that?
Facebook. I never dreamed that it would grow like it did, and I have such a good. They're not just there because they're a following. I post new things that come into the store every single day. Even when I had my son, I was still posting things in the hospital. I was making sure nothing went downhill because it's just me who does the social media. I don't have any help on that end, and they know that if they see something they like, they better either hightail it down to the store or they can call me. They pay for it over the phone, and it's kind of like a game now. They know that if they don't get it, it may not be there when they come to get it. So, yeah.
Awesome.
That's so great. I see an emerging audience for you and young people who are interested in upcycling, reducing waste, repurposing. Where do you fall? Are you like more on the authentic restoration side? Are you okay with them spray painting a piece purple and putting funky knobs on it? Just my fun question of the.
I am in a very medium, medium spot there because if it doesn't need help, I think just leave it alone. But there are pieces that they can't stay the way they are, and I'm all for let's paint it pink, let's put something weird knob on it. I'm all for that. I like funky and unique things. And then I used to be the not dress different, that kind of thing. But vintage clothing has taken I saw a lot of vintage clothing, and I love it. I love to see older pieces or, things that your grandma would have worn. I don't know. I just like that kind of thing. And I have some of the coolest customers who will buy things from me and how they dress. And that inspires me to be like, yeah, I'll wear that. I can do that. And that is really fun. I love seeing them. And I'll see them and they say, I got this jacket at your store. And I love that. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Well, Ashley, you're a very inspiring young business owner.
Thank you.
And I think you have a lot to teach someone. And hopefully our listeners and watchers got something out of this. In fact, just on Monday, I had someone call here at EThOs wanting to start an antiques business.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
So I may have to tell you about him because I was kind of limited of what I could help him to and just want to connect him with the right resources.
Oh, yeah. The more, the merrier, I think.
That's awesome. Any tips you can think at the top of your head that you might give to someone in the field or just a startup?
Just do it.
Okay.
Because you will talk yourself out of it. Just do it. You won't know unless you try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's awesome. I just want to make sure we give you opportunity. Anything that you were like, I really want to get this in as you're coming up all those stairs.
Oh, I'm sure I'll think of it in the car ride home.
Yeah.
But
Same, girl.
No, I hope people can come check us out and that they find something that makes them happy, and the younger generation realizes that, it's not just dusty antiques. You can make something your own and for cheaper.
And how would someone find your business, either online or location?
We do Facebook, Instagram, or I'm doing a little TikTok, but I'm not real good at it. But we're located on Van Buren Street here in Marion, and like I said, it's a big 2-story brick building. They can find us. Warehouse Antique Mall. Just Google me.
Awesome. So good. Well, thank you, Ashley Anderson from Warehouse Antique Mall here in Marion, Illinois. Yes. You've been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Your first podcast is finished now.
Woo! One in the books.
You can go on to star and fame. That's awesome. And thank you to all of our small town big business listeners and watchers. We want to thank our sponsors again: Arcadia Wealth Group, Black Diamond Harley Davidson and RV, Fowler Heating and Cooling, the Swinford Media Group, the Watermark Auto Group Foundation, and again, Luke O'Neill, who's our producer at Union Street Arts. If you want to know more about EThOs, the small business incubator, co-working spaces, training and development here in Marion, Illinois, you can get a hold of me, Russell Williams. And my email is russell@watermarkethos.org, or you can look us on Facebook at Ethos at the Citadel.
And don't forget to subscribe to Small Town Big Business on your favorite application for podcasting. And if you're a YouTuber, we're there and you get to see our lovely faces.
I love that. I think you did great.
Okay.
That's awesome. And I'm Russell Williams.
And I'm Jennifer Olson.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.